Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of Let's Play Nationalist China with Hearts of Iron 4 and me, Deleted Kingdoms 4 Explorminate. And in the last episode you'll remember that we managed to basically get our armies and our air force organised. Our small navy is patrolling out here in the East China Sea and the Yellow Sea, and we're basically preparing for Japan to attack. As far as construction goes, we're building all our industry in the west here and improving the infrastructure, and we're just going to let the clock tick over because we're just waiting now, just building up our armed forces, working our way through our doctrine, and just waiting for the Japanese to attack. Now we do have some political power which we can use here. We currently have 156. We could get another political advisor in. Oh, I don't know what. First Lady of the Republic. Now this has something to do with war support, stability, and something to do with relations with America as well. But I'm not sure about that. I'm tempted to get the silent workhorse in just to improve the amount of political power that we're actually gaining. Or we could change our economy law. At the minute we're in a civilian economy, and really we're only months, probably less than a year away from the Japanese invading, so we should really start to mobilise things. Military factory construction speed, early mobilisation. Let's go to partial mobilisation. Okay, the 3 principles of the people have been completed. We were working our way down this way. We're going to go to nationalism, foreign threats, and we're going to try and unite China. So rather than sort of looking for support from the US, which is something I want to do later, but first of all I think we need to unite China. So nationalism is next. That will give us more stability in the country as a whole, and we can work our way down towards uniting China as one. Let's have a look at what's going on the northern front here. There are a few Japanese cavalry divisions. We've got, it looks at the minute at least, we look to have a lot more divisions there, which is good. Just going to lower the volume of the music because it does sound really loud. There we go. The last thing I want to do is record a video where you can't hear anything I'm saying because the music's too loud. Paradox games have a habit of having really loud music 1 minute and then really quiet the next. Okay, unassigned divisions. I'll assign them again to the northern front. Just keep reinforcing that. Look, everybody here is suffering attrition. Why are these Japanese troops are suffering attrition? Are they exercising? All my troops are exercising. Yeah, the Japanese are on exercise on our northern border there. These sneaky Japanese. I know what they're planning. Yeah, so we're building up our numbers of infantry divisions. We're working towards artillery, I believe. Let's have a look here. Yep, we're researching artillery, researching better infantry doctrine for defence, and we're just 1 day away. There we go, of completing research on some better infantry equipment. So we have that now. One thing I do need to do, so we have access to all these support companies, we need to get support equipment, undoubtedly. So that's what we're going to do next. Outdated equipment is in production. Let's start producing our new infantry equipment. Decisions are available. This is just the promise of peace decision, and I'm not going to promise anybody peace because peace is definitely not on the way. So it's February 1937. Historically, the Japanese attacked in around July or June, I think, in 1937. What's the weather like on the northern front here? It's clear. A cool 9 degrees up here in northern China. Down here in Shanghai, it's like a grand strategy weather report. It's clear, 2 degrees Celsius down here. Okay, nationalism is done. What is next on our little path to glory? Foreign threats. Yeah, united front. So foreign threats, mutually exclusive. We prioritise the interior. So this will give us war support plus 10%. United front can create factions. The Chinese United Front. There we go. Because at the minute China is completely divided into all these different warlords who are not cooperating with each other in any way, shape or form. We've got 28 divisions on the northern front here, and as far as we know we can only see 5 Japanese divisions. So I reckon the bulk of their attack is going to come from the sea. Artillery is finished. Our small navy, we have 7 ships, is going to be no match for the Imperial Navy, so they're going to just push through this naval screen at a rapid rate of knots. So we can produce artillery now, but we don't really have the industry to do it. So we need to choose what we want next. We can either improve our current artillery, get anti-tank guns, or anti-aircraft guns. Now the Japanese will be using their air force in the invasion. I'm sure there'll be tanks as well, but the tanks will be in limited supply. We don't really have the industry to back up producing these designs yet. But we're already working on inland doctrine. We're working on support equipment. This is still ahead of time. We could get radio equipment to increase reinforcement rate. That might be an idea. We do have a 50% discount on construction 3, but it's still 267 days. Basic machine tools would increase production efficiency cap, which has just dropped because we're starting to build new types of rifles. So I don't think there's any need to try and increase the cap just yet if we're not at it. I don't know. I'm no expert. I think we're going to go for this radio. It's quite cheap. It'll increase the rate that our division can reinforce once we are fighting, which is good. And once all this construction's done, I'm going to build a defensive line. I think the Japanese will attack from the north as well as invade from the sea. So let's look at a good place to put a defensive line in. If we look at the terrain here, we've got hills around Shandong, hills, plains. There's a little gap here, like a pass through here, and then we go back into hills. Another little pass here near Shenzhou, and then it's more hills here. So, and there's obviously this main river running along here as well. So I think a defensive line is going to be somewhere along here. The trouble is, if the Japanese attack here, which they probably will, straight away it's going to be sort of outflanked. But I'm confident my troops who are on exercise and training for this are going to repel the Japanese before they take Shanghai. We have to be confident and optimistic. Let's let the clock tick over. Now we have command power. I'm not sure exactly how we use this, but basically we can use our command power to boost our attack, our defense, and our planning speed. Our troops don't actually have any plans. I'm going to give this northern army of 14 divisions, I'm going to give it an offensive line to try and push the Japanese out of here and retake this port down here at East Hebei. I don't think this is going to be put into action, this plan. Well, at least it's there. Do we have to stop exercising in order for them to plan? At the minute, our commander here, Gu Zutong, he's happy with this plan. He says we have an advantage, that the enemy are inferior, and yet even though his divisions are still preparing, he estimates it as a good plan. We can't, I don't think we, there's too many things happening. Like, pause. I don't think we can attack the Japanese though, can we? We can't declare war because we have no war goal, no justification, even though they are occupying Manchuria, which we have claims on. You'd think that would be justification, because we do have claims on this territory, don't we? On these areas. Yes, Chinese claims and Communist China have claims in this area. Anyway, what was that all about? There is justification of war goals against us and our allies. Japan is justifying against us. Well, we knew that was going to happen. We have no national focus. Quick, let's unite Japan before the Japanese attack. One research slot available. Let's not waste research time. Right, so engineer companies, recon companies, engineer companies. Now, I'm guessing they increase your ability to entrench. I'm no expert on this game and all the numbers behind it. I tried to make my decisions based on what I would do in real life. Now, engineers, if we're going to be fighting a defensive war initially, engineers are going to be key. Reconnaissance is more of an offensive thing if you're reconnoitering forward. Reconnaissance is pretty important for the attack, but I think engineers are important for defense. Right. Unassigned divisions again. Okay, the Hindenburg disaster. German passenger airship Hindenburg was destroyed. Oh, the humanity. Right, unassigned divisions. Let's get them assigned. We have one unassigned division. Let's put it with this Northern Defence Army. We can modify government again. Again, we have over 152 political power. So the last time we partially mobilised the population to improve military construction speed, even though we're not producing any military factories at the minute. Should we get the silent workhorse in? Political power gain plus 15%. One per day. The compassionate gentleman improves relations. Backroom backstabber. Popular figurehead increases stability. Material design, industrial concern. Mining commission, resource gain efficiency, industrial research times. Military staff. Now this may be the way forward. Military geniuses, division defense plus 15%. I'm going to go for that. If the Japanese are going to want to go on the offensive, then we better make sure that we're good in the defensive. But we still have this army corruption. I don't know how to get rid of this army corruption. I'm guessing it comes up in a decision. I don't know. Desperately need to get rid of that army corruption. Those pesky Japanese. We're still exercising here. Should we stop exercising? We do have a massive stockpile of infantry equipment now. More than enough. We could put those factories to better use, you know. We could start producing artillery. I think that's what we're going to do. Because we have enough army experience now to add artillery companies or whatever they are. Yeah, let's start a new production line. Let's start producing artillery. Let's put three factories for now. We do need to get some steel in though. Let's get our steel from tungsten, sorry. We need to get tungsten. That was right, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 units of tungsten we need to increase production of artillery. Let's get it from British Malaya. It says it doesn't require convoys, so I'm guessing there's a land route. Let's get it from the British. We need to change our templates then to add support artillery. There we go. Save. That's that done. So as we start producing this artillery, it will be ferried to our frontline units. Neither one of these armies really has the priority. Let's stop exercising our troops now because I want them to concentrate on the task ahead. Our navy, when the war kicks off, we may have to bring them into port. I mean, there's no sense in letting them just get massacred. Our air force, they know what they have to do. Pocket defense is done. The deep battle or mass mobilization. So we're going to go for the deep battle, of course. Defense in depth, improves organization and entrenchment, which is good. Come on, we're waiting, we're waiting. How's our construction going? God, these factories are taking so long to construct. Probably because a lot of our production is going towards importing resources. I don't think we're going to have time to improve the infrastructure in the West, you know. Amelia Earhart disappears. Well, she's gone. She's disappeared into the Pacific. No one knows where she is. Although recently they do reckon they found some of her bones on a little Pacific island somewhere. Oh god, here we go, the Marco Polo Bridge incident. Japanese soldiers recently launched an attack on the strategic Marco Polo Bridge just south of Beijing, but they were repelled by brave soldiers. No doubt this is an orchestrated event aimed at placing blame on us and forcing us to surrender more territory, just like the Mukden incident when the Japanese invaded Manchuria. How should we respond? So we've got two options here basically. We can either say, alright Japan, take this land, take this territory, we don't want to fight you, we're not ready to fight you. Or we can say, look, we've had enough, and stop them, which basically means war. I'm going to do that. United front. As if on cue, right on time, pick a fight with Japan, here we go. Requires one of the following. So what does this do? He's not in a faction with Japan. Well, that's definitely not going to happen. Gains annex war go against Manchuria, basically. War of resistance. What's this give us? Grants deficient defense on core territory plus 10%. That's good. And we want to move our industry back west. So let's pick a fight with Japan. So I think we're going to continue down this route. We'll go pick a fight with Japan. There we go. Here we go. Now this is interesting. The Saibei Sanma seeks to join the Chinese United Front. As the current upheavals in international politics continue to reverberate through the world, the Ma have deemed us to be their greatest chance of surviving these tumultuous times. They therefore request to be admitted into our alliance, so that we may weather the coming storm together, and weather it we shall. And Shaanxi does the same. Communist China accepts invitation to the Chinese United Front. Communist China has decided to accept our offer to join the Chinese United Front. Henceforth we shall stand or fall together. Oh, it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off. Here we go. So earlier today, China and Saibei Sanma issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted a member status of the Chinese United Front. Whether this partnership will be used for offensive or defensive purposes remains to be seen, but undoubtedly extensive joint military planning is already underway. Don't know about that. Shaanxi does the same. Let's slow things down now because things are happening at quite a pace. Yunnan seeks to join the Chinese Front, of course. Everybody, join the Chinese Front. The communists have joined us. The Shaanxi clique, I'm guessing I'm saying that, and whether we shall. Japan has declared war on them because of that. Okay, leadership purges in the Soviet Union. That's the least of our worries. Xinjiang seeks to join the Chinese United Front. You are welcome. Call to arms, you see. Shaanxi wants us to help in their war efforts. We can't really say no, can we? Or can we? I don't know. So this would mean we were declaring war on Japan. Basically, we formed the Chinese United Front. All these warlords have now joined together to fight the mutual threat, which is the Japanese. And the Japanese have declared war on Shaanxi, which is up here. So no doubt they want to add that to the little collection of puppet states they have up here. And really, it's in our interest to defend Shaanxi because this is essentially part of our border anyway. So there you go. The important thing is though, we've united China under one united front, and we now have allies to aid us against the Japanese. And one of our allies is asking for help because they've been declared on straight away by the Japanese. So there you go. If you like the episode, then click on like. If you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. and I'll see you next time, waiting for the Japanese storm of terror which is about to be unleashed on China. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.